Hey everybody, thank you for tuning in. I'm out down here at Crystal Ballroom, and big shout out to Jennifer who reminded me I played opening night down here back in '97 when they reopened. So this is dance on air, dancing on air. I remember that was the draw, right? Because back in the day, the way the floor is constructed, there's like air inside of it, right? So it was a big advertising thing, get people down here, because when you're here, you can feel the floor bouncing. So big shout out to the rest of my crew, Hungry Mob, who are doing different things. Some of us are still here in Portland, like Larry Yes. I got my man David Parks with Too Many Zoos. Out in New York, Chris Allen is still here. Shout out to Tony Hill, Tahoe Jackson, Todd Strickland, Tori Greenwood, aka Circle. Everybody, Catone Lyles, that made that band what it was. We were happy to be here as a live hip hop band for many years in Portland, Oregon. I'm doing my solo thing tonight, so I'm gonna perform by myself. And thank you everybody for making time, taking time out of your pandemic experience to look at your device and support what we're doing. Shout out to Casey Facilio doing sound tonight. I hope it sounds as good as it does up in here because, we've been doing sound check. Definitely follow, I just set up the Patreon. Follow on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, all the socials. It's Mike Crenshaw, MICCRENSHAW. And share this with your friends. If you know people that have an interest in some good conscious hip hop music, and lyricism and dope beats, let them know, because that's what I'm going to share with you tonight. I'm not going to perform for a full hour, but I'm going to do a mixture of some of my spoken word and some of my songs. Some of you are familiar with. I got a couple of unreleased joints, but it's mostly released stuff, and I've been real busy with multiple projects right now, so stay tuned. Ghosts of Our Revolutionary Ancestors coming out. Rebel Wise is recently released, and a lot more coming out in 2021. So this first joint I'm going to do is called Teach It. This is actually an old spoken word piece I used to do with Hungry Mob, and it's off of the Thinking Out Loud LP. No prevention nor protection. No contraception. In the event of divine intervention and immaculate conception, the answer to the question of what is my profession? Dog. I'm that cat using rap as a weapon, blasting, smashing the elaborate deception and casting an accurate reflection. I'm sculpting your perception with cultural connections. Aggressively created for spiritual reasons, survival of my people, liberation and freedom, and that's why I'm leading discussions on money, greed, and corruption, and the seduction of lust and destruction, and how we don't need this to function. The people are the means of production. And suffering in me, we need no introduction. The global power structure needs adjustment just as much as my seed needs love, and peace won't see the light of day without justice. Why the fuck you think I'm busting raps? I'm not a lush pushing a plush luxury bus full of sluts and cushions and back. No, that's not the facts, y'all. It's your language. Use it, speak it. Communication is a gift. Don't keep it a secret. Articulation, tweak it, freak it. Let the people see it, say it, display it, and teach it. Transparency is needed. Apparently, we need to have clarity to see through the barbarity and evil used to deceive you. A message to the people. Don't let them keep you sleep, fool. I give a descriptive depiction of the resistance and friction, persistence through all of existence's struggles, predicaments, and positions, complete with compromise, traumatized by disease and addiction, still arise to my feet, fighting to be free and defeat opposition. Stop and listen to the common wisdom, drop succinctly in a way to get you thinking there is no competition here, just the need to live free, be relieved, and release fear. Allow me to make myself clear like antihistamines while I have the planet listening. Humanity's history, damage, and misery can be explicitly understood and put to use for common good instantly. There is no trick, gimmickry, or wizardry for us to physically, mentally live in victory. We're literally in possession of the blessings to eliminate our oppression. Love. And that's what's up. It's your language. Use it, speak it. Communication is a gift. Don't keep it a secret. Articulation, tweak it, freak it. Let the people see it, say it, display it, and teach it. We all know what's happening in my old hometown. Minneapolis. You know what it is. Bright and brilliant. Despite their mental illness, quite resilient. Fight with wit and write this real shit volatility. Low civility. Don't let vulnerability lower your fragility. This moment is pivotal. Crucial, critical, our opponent is intentional. Brutally criminal, to be truthful, our response has been useful and pitiful. Community defense happens when we control the city though. Perversity, firstly, worshiping emergencies, a constant state of urgency. Crisis creates currency, mass murder and the mayhem, massacres and strife, manufacturing the chaos, the fastest race is right. Merchants peddle weaponry and sell it to all sides, no guarantees with no tranquility. After we all die, hostility. Rage and anger killing me, they commit atrocities, plausible deniability. We must achieve the impossible and believe in our abilities. I'ma look to you and me, not Hollywood or Hillary. Politicians and police, gatekeeping bourgeoisie. Liberation's closer than you think, but y'all ain't really feeling me. It's time to think fast. The movement, learn lessons from our past. The movement, organize the class. The movement, solidarity at last. The movement. Hey yo, it's time to think fast. The movement. Say it at home. Learn lessons from our past. The movement. Organize the class. The movement. Solidarity at last. The movement. God will say we know about that. But what about the love? What about the good Lord? And the heavens up above. The heavens up above. They are inside of you. Don't forget about the essence of the message tried and true. And to the hell below, we have access to that too. Depending on what you know, how you think and what you do. I'm posted on a radius doing surveillance with my crew. To the phone and from the drone, they spy on me and you. Oh, you think you cool? They spying on you too. I know you think I'm a fool, but they spying on you too. So what you gonna do? What we gonna do? What you gonna do? What we gonna do? It's time to think fast. The movement. Learn lessons from our past. The movement. Organize the class. The movement. Solidarity at last. The movement. Hey yo, it's time to think fast. The movement. Learn lessons from our past. The movement. Organize the class. The movement. Solidarity at last. The movement. They blasted on the park right before it got dark. I saw the muzzle flash out the windows, flying sparks. Fuck the snitches in the narcs, debating about marks. They aiming at our children, hit a baby in the heart. Code of silence. I'm not promoting violence, there's a science. Self-sufficient, self-reliant, efficient and defiant. Cheaters, lepers, lions. One of us gets hit, well, 3 of them are dying. Self-control. Erosion of my soul. PTSD test me, I won't give up before our goals. Protect our families, communities, and homes. As to whether we found peace, well, that remains unknown. It's time to think fast. The movement. Learn lessons from our past. The movement. Organize the class. The movement. Solidarity at last. The movement. Hey yo, it's time to think fast. The movement. Learn lessons from our past. The movement. Organize the class. The movement. Solidarity at last. The movement. Hey yo, it's time to think fast. The movement. Learn lessons from our past. The movement. Organize the class. The movement. Solidarity at last. The movement. So, hey yo, it's time to think fast. The movement. Learn lessons from our past. The movement. The movement. Solidarity at last. The movement. It's a trip, you guys. I think at first it was like 8 minutes and 46 seconds, you know, that we thought that based on the live video feed of Derek Chauvin murdering George Floyd. And, you know, now since the trial's, you know, been going on, we find out 9 minutes and 29 seconds they asphyxiated that man. And, you know, I remember watching it the morning after it happened. You know, and y'all saw the consequence. I'm glad I wasn't the only one who was as moved and disgusted and motivated. You know, and so that song, The Movement, it's not even written. That song that goes back, that song is old, you know, and I mean, it's like 2015 I wrote that. Because what I'm talking about in that song is not just George Floyd. I'm talking about ever since this this landmass was invaded by colonial forces, what's been going on to not only the First Nations and indigenous people, but to so many of us that were forcibly displaced from the continent of Africa to provide labor, right? That built this society into the industrial engine that helped create modern civilization. You know, like all these things it's the movement. And we only get so much time, you know, between birth and death. And we never know. We never know when we're gonna go. Some people who live a long life, you know, or die from under specific circumstances, maybe they know. Most of us never know. So when you think about George Floyd, think about when he got up in the morning, you know? And did he know he was gonna perish, be murdered on camera? And I wanna ask the question, what's the difference between, you know, you've seen the postcards, you read the stories about lynching, when there used to be thousands of white people that would show up and witness somebody be brutally murdered in acts of racial terror. And when these police murders get shared on social media and millions of people see it all over the world, what we want to understand, we don't want to understand it. What we need to understand is that we're witnessing the same thing. We're just witnessing it in a digital environment, you guys. And so all I can say before I move on, I know a lot of us are burnt out. We're fatigued from a lot of the same traumatic information, you know, but I have a platform, and so I feel it's my responsibility to reflect on this as an artist. But before we move on to the next song, I just want to say that, you know, I've trained to protect myself. And what I came to learn is that the carotid arteries are the arteries that carry blood to the brain. And so I remember being a kid in junior high, we're messing around, putting each other to sleep, right? I didn't know why I fell asleep there. You know, we thought it was fun for us to restrict each other's necks until we fell asleep. We'd be laughing about it. You know, I come to learn that the carotid artery only needs, you know, around 30 seconds of restriction before the blood flow to the brain will cause one to fall asleep. So that's why they call it a blood choke. And within 3 minutes, you could actually be brain dead. So I want you to think about that. 9 minutes they were on that brother's neck, making him scream out for his very life to his mother. And what I want to say is, while we sit around and act like Asian women getting shot is not a hate crime, while we sit around and act like somebody's use of recreational drugs is justification for them to be choked to death publicly, I just want you to imagine the kind of logical retribution that would be available in a just world. And I want you to consider that people with good hearts who are just going through everyday life might not even desire that. But in such a context, every one of those cops deserves 9 minutes and 29 seconds of asphyxiation. They do. Let's go to the next song.
We come from everywhere. What's something I don't care? I see, I don't stare. We've been right here for years. Thank you for everything. I say this every day. I wake up and I pray. These are the words I say.
Generosity over animosity. Keep it positive, little people watching me. What are the chances? What an oddity. 1 in 10 billion. I won the lottery. Identity, physically channel infinity. Black history embodied the chemistry. Bounce from activity, announce captivity. Creativity the remedy for limited energy. Choice necessity, poised for destiny successfully. Hoist aggressively, raw strength, 1/10 of the recipe. Details change, flexibility's everything.
We come from everywhere. What's something I don't care? I see, I don't stare. We've been right here for years. Thank you for everything. I say this every day. I wake up and I pray. These are the words I say.
Visualize your wildest dreams. The time is now to put it down, it seems.
Actualize your deepest thoughts. Give thanks, go to work, keep my fingers crossed. I'm not trying to be deep, but I am not sleep. You in the trap lacking supply and police. It is what it is. See, the kids gotta eat while we get it how to live, and we dying in the streets. Walls and distractions, pause and imagine. Laws of attraction, positive action. Walking my path and I'm confident, smashing bars and compassion, causing reactions.
We come from everywhere. What's something I don't care? I see, I don't stare. We've been right here for years. Thank you for everything. I say this every day. I wake up and I pray. These are the words I say.
I say. Big shout out to Janelosi, Crenshaw. Rocking this one with me, it's called Cog. Did a race from space come to subjugate the natives? Replace nature with hatred and it's authoritative. Way up relating that is orchestrated through slave behavior that is shaped by language. So I'm a open shop while the oceans rock. Cultivate culture whether kosher or not. No restraint or constraints, I know faith is my compass. Co-creating concepts with my man in constant. A proper prophet, dropping cosmic gossip. People over profit don't respond to no garbage. I motivate cause motion makes my notions monstrous. I'm supposed to make posers hate, convulse and vomit. Composure's kept as I compose in depth. Social commentary that's supposed to get exposed to those who control perception. Flows from the soul, give the skull protection. Wake up. Yeah, man.
Wake up, I know how you feel. Like a cog in the wheel of engines turning.
Turn.
And you wanna see it get real.
See it get real.
Throw a wrench in the wheel and watch things burn.
Cultural neurosis, social media hype. The ultimate psychosis throws a meteorite into the first law of nature, fundamentally broken. That alone justifies leaving his whole shit smoking. Few can function without overconsumption. Is the future just mutual assured destruction? Only independent thinkers can endure discussions that takes to this course where the matrix doesn't. So you can masturbate to the masquerade, but the truth has to reign on the last parade. Now the half is paid as your cash deflates. You don't have to wait to be activated. Break the chains, change the game like Cassius Clay. Change his name, overcame and surpassed the hate. Place the masquerade in a massive grave. Now is what we have, so let us grab today. Now is what we have, so let us grab today. On the Earthbound EP, check it out, y'all.
Wake up, I know how you feel. Like a cog in the wheel of engines turning. And you wanna see it get real. Throw a wrench in the wheel and watch things burning
To the ground. To the ground. It's all available on most platforms. Apple Music, Spotify, even the evil monster of Amazon. Yeah. Now, my music is very serious, and I do have a sense of humor too, because we have to have it. So I have to, sometimes really think critically about whether I should tell jokes or not. Sometimes it's like, I was in Hawaii recently. Shout out to my brother DJ Spark living up on the volcano. Now, if any of you ever been to Ocean View on a Hawaiian island, it's up on the volcano, and it's it's a very gradual but very high slope. And so when you're coming down the slope, if you're in neutral, you just take your foot off the accelerator and the brake, you constantly accelerate. So you come through these intersections, you know, where you might have started at 35, within a few hundred yards, you'll be going 60 if you're not careful. So there was a story about this water truck where the dude went up there to deliver water because they have their own cisterns and, you know, water treatment systems for each house up there. So he's coming back down a hill with all the water in the back of the truck. And he didn't anticipate how much he would accelerate before the intersection. And because of that, he lost control and went through some things. And so I say all that to say that I had to tell you that story to really fight hard to not tell you a bad joke. Because it was coming. I was feeling it, like trying to get up. Man, so I hope you're all doing all right, having fun at home and wherever you might be. Let's play the next song. All over the world. I've been in gangs and done hardcore drugs. There ain't nothing as dangerous as being in love. My love for freedom transcends addiction. It completely consumes my whole existence and affliction. Deeper than the people's religion and in the face of death, it has kept me living and it places me in certain positions where I'm exposed and feel only friction. And my heroes that live do so from prisons while I'm in the streets and trenches leading resistance. Despite all fear, I'ma be persistent because it's clear that what I need to witness is a culmination of our dreams and visions, motivated by the co-creation of something different where our needs are met. And we're not at war, and we're not in debt or hungry or poor. I want to be efficient and self-sufficient, so I'ma ask the elders with the wealth of wisdom. They said you can't avoid it, try to enjoy it. The contradictions, they will destroy us like this profit-driven unemployment. You know the jobless millions, they won't be voiceless as fools. Take advantage and try to rape the planet and then take for granted all the waste and damages. They privatize all the waves in the ocean due to rising tides. Civilization is broken out of crisis lies in the ways we have chosen when the prices rise and our wages are frozen currently. It's all a state of emergency. Hurry, we urgently need more currency. I spit succinctly for a sick society. Descriptive thinking of a deep variety. All over the world.
People in the streets.
People in the streets.
People just like you.
People just like you.
People just like me.
People just like me.
People just like me.
You know what it is? Class war. That's all we pass for. The police task forces in the streets with masks on. They won't take the mask off or drop the shotgun or hesitate to pepper spray your kids in the hot sun. Racist inequity provides for your basic necessities. Denied your shelter, electricity, and human rights. Despite color or ethnicity, that's what we fight for. I dangle my feet over the edge of the apocalypse. I'm thinking of taking a leap, whatever the consequence. Nothing to lose. For blood and consciousness, the path that I choose. That's proof that I exist. Critical mass, physical confidence, a few the people who have my back on every continent. Study the past, subvert the dominant, deconstruct, analyze, reorganize the metropolis. All over the world. All over the world.
People in the streets.
People in the street.
People just like you.
People just like you.
People just like me.
People just like me. What do we want?
They want to be free.
We want to be free. Different ideas about what that means. Even in the state of Oregon, we get it confused. Every city, every hood, every block, everywhere. But every block, everywhere. Every city, every hood, 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 every block, everywhere. All over the world.
People in the streets.
People in the street. People just like.
People just like you.
People just like you. People just like who?
People just like me.
People just like me. People just like me. All over the world. All over the world. People in the street, people in the street, people in the street.
Are people just like you?
Are people just like you? People just like who? People just like me. Are people just like you? What do we want? Big shout out to Liv Warfield. Ha! Yeah. Big shout out to Prince Elwood Strickland, my man, the third, from Portland Underground Recording. Y'all know Elwood. He made that beat. We chopped it up out of the original, you know, big shout out. Yeah. Thank you for being here. Yeah. This is this joint is called World War III. One of the students I work with at Alliance at Benson, out of this world, Jupiter, made this beat. I'm gonna do it and then I'm gonna talk to you for a minute. Rhyme too symmetrical, mind dialectical, intellectual message, pressure on the decibels, increasing the digits to the left of the decimal, relentless religiously, committed incredible, my relation to the culture has a spiritual drive, visualize a future where through music we rise, doing this pursuing since before 95, my contribution influences institutions that thrive. How can there be liberty and justice for all when destruction is the function and consumption the cause? You know, mob justice, rival factions at war. When it's time for action, will you answer the call? Saturated with catastrophe, your compassion atrophy, heightened apathy with these passing tragedy, and now it's your turn to let the torch burn. Push it forward, visionary warrior.
Human beings, choose your destiny. World peace or World War III. Human beings, choose your destiny. You want world peace or World War III.
Society indebted to the inbred who wedded. Pedophiles embedded, experimenting with genetic testing. West Wing, invested in protecting Epstein, molesting and directing sex rings. Can we strive for inner peace despite identity? Device dependency and white supremacy. In shells against the world, chemtrails and stem cells and entrails and skin cells spreading through the jet. Calculated with callous, they counting trillions of dollars. They operated with malice and we're out the way in the palace. Amalgamation of power, annihilating each challenges. Relation of violence is not stop what they got us. Unconsciousness, testosterone, deadly irresponsible. Apocalypse is possible. Causes astronomical, demonic, diabolical, unstable, highly volatile. Profit dominates the soul. Populace not in control.
Human
beings,
choose your destiny.
Do you want world peace? Do you want world peace? A world war free? I said human beings.
Choose your destiny.
Do you want world peace or World War III? Life is hard and beautiful. For some, it's far from suitable, so we choose to use drugs, booze, and pharmaceuticals. Unemployment can destroy enjoyment and start to do to you something more annoying than glass shards and cuticles. Thoughts make energy. Shockwave symphony potentially eliminate blockades mentally. All aspects of my abilities are all assets or liabilities. So with the strength of the gift that God has given me, I'll be a bitch to not spit this positivity. First, imagine work and traveling, words and passion giving birth to action. Artists therapeutic. If I'm smart, I better do it. Trim the tripping, skinny dipping, swimming with sharks and barracudas. Death is ample. Death is ample. I set examples. Handle my success. See that the threats are canceled. Food, clothes, shelter, education, healthcare, peace, and land. I'm trying to get ahead without ending up dead in the streets. Because I can. I said food, clothes, shelter, education, healthcare, peace, and land. I'm trying to get ahead without ending up dead in the streets. And I am. Patricia pushed poison because it paid much better than a myriad of choices, didn't make enough cheddar. Single parent, 3 jobs, never see her seeds anywhere near enough to meet their needs. So was it suicide when she was crucified? Because she refused to hide from what she knew inside. Some choose to fight, and so they choose to die because they do what's right, and they lose their lives. Think about it, y'all. I'm going to cut the second verse off there, but think about it. Give thanks, you know? If you're able, if you're breathing, give thanks. If you got ancestors that are looking out for you, give thanks. Food, clothes, shelter, education, healthcare, peace, and land. I'm trying to get ahead without ending up dead in the streets. Because I can. I said food, clothes, shelter, education, healthcare, peace, and land. I'm trying to get ahead without ending up dead in the streets. And I am. It's bigger than me, man. It takes community. All right, we're going to do the last 2. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you, Dance on Air, Crystal Ballroom. Yeah, y'all. Let's do Sunlight. Hey, shout out to my guy, Cool Chief Rocker, a.k.a. Michael Fletcher. This is from our LP, Last of a Dying Breed, On the Brink of Distinction. I'm grateful for the 2 feet connected to my ankle. Thankful for my rupees, my shillings, and my pesos. Currency by the caseload, no, but I got queso. Give thanks to the creator. Today I ate, bro. Potatoes, mangoes. I'm not trying to listen to the whispers of the hateful. I got a few whiskers on my face of the grace, so some men are getting sick, shot, stabbed, and strangled. I might have made it this far with the help of some angels. I persevered through the fear where it's strange and painful. Ample examples. I'ma give you examples. Dreams, skills, house, wheels, a family to love me and to pay these bills. When I expand my horizons, I heal and build. I have a good time, change the way I feel. Recharge, rejuvenate, reflect, and reveal. It's not about or dollar bills, but you know what? I ain't done it in a minute. For those of you who know the song by heart, I hope you sang along in the gaps. But ride with me on the hook, y'all. Kind of poppy. When there's sunlight, oxygen, and H2O, a brother like Mike has a place to go. We can take a train, take a plane, a boat, or take a hike, take a flight, or take the road. If you wanna take pictures, just take your phone. Just don't forget you gotta make it home. Jet fuel burning, about to do another stint. Miles I'm earning, but my carbon footprint that's a bit large, but there's work to be done. Do I have to go so far just to have fun? I'm exploring something powerful. Next time you should come. The forest and the mountains, waterfalls, surfing sun. Sipping drinks on the mezzanine in the breeze so heavenly. 7 seas, trees, different shades of ebony. Temperature between 90 degrees and 70 Fahrenheit. Wearing white, negativity won't mess with me. Pack like 2 carry-ons with everything. Shoes, something to read, necessities, accessories. Some fools be bugging, can't have you lose my luggage. Getting out of town was enough of a struggle. When I get to where I'm going, I'm brave yet humble. Being ignorant and arrogant will get that ass in trouble. Who goes to another continent to get in a rumble? Fuck around, get crumpled up and left in the jungle. When it's sunlight, oxygen, and H2O, a brother like Mike got a place to go. We can take a train, take a plane, a boat, or take a hike, take a flight, or take the road. If you wanna take pictures, just take your phone. Just don't forget you gotta make it home. When there's sunlight, oxygen, and H2O, a brother like Mike got a place to go. We can take a train, take a plane, a boat, or take a hike, take a flight, or take the road. If you wanna take pictures, just take your phone. Just don't forget you gotta make it home. Yeah, y'all. Like I said, that's from the Last of a Dying Breed, Brink of Distinction album. Theory has it on the beat. Cool Chief Rocker in the building. Make it home.
I'm leaving today, big
Jet plane.
I'm leaving today, but it feels like I'm going home.
Rebellion without a pause. Cocaine, weed, and alcohol. Pretty girls without the drawers, prison cells without the walls, free for all without the law, self-destruction. What's the cost? Flying high, but we're lost. Flying high, but what's the cost? Trap got too many vices, giving my enemy license. Black identity crisis, frontin' pretend to be righteous. You don't need to be a scientist. You just need to know the struggle's been designed to leave you lifeless, minds occupied. Hands are seldom idle. I'm committed to what's critical, essential, and vital. Vampires gotta die, empires gotta fall. There will be no compromise. I want freedom for us all. Sure as my cheekbones are prominent, you know I'ma be mobbing on the continent. White supremacy's dominant here, my conglomerate's clear. It will disappear even in this hemisphere. I'm confident and conscious of the plot to interfere. I even deal with Europeans, people think it's weird. We have a common destiny, but we're the ones who steer. Back and forth to the airport, my passport's near. I'm able to travel the earth, traversing the surf and the turf. Meeting compatible people doing incredible work. Living the purpose I serve through action and acting the verb. Follow the path of my passion, something that Africa births.
I'm leaving today. Big jet plane fly far away. I'm leaving today, but it feels like I'm going home.
Where this society is headed, I think I will regret it. If I don't have an exit plan established, then forget it. Tanzania is the bomb, I might be there before too long. I admire the environment, I'm violent and gone. I plan to take a family to USA's insanity. Racial, economic, and political calamity. Mobility globally has to do with the fact I'm not committed to the limits distributed to blacks. But slavery, what's next? Colonial subjects begging for equality. Now have some self-respect. Soldier shit, my heart is purple, colder than the Arctic Circle. Coping with the hopelessness, focus on a higher purpose. Pressure make diamonds from cold oppression, expressing my soul. Keeping my eyes on my goals, deeper than most can behold. People get murdered in droves, younger than 30 years old. Thinking of heaven on earth, a place I know I can call home.
I'm leaving today. Big jet plane fly far away. I'm leaving today, but it feels like I'm going home. I think my heart has been missing this place. I was storming away so long. Let the longing turn to song. Let the longing turn to song.
Yeah, y'all. Big shout out to Jenna, singing on the hook. Big shout out to Mama C, all the way in Arusha Village, or in Embasini Village outside of Arusha, Tanzania in East Africa. She's on the track. We got a global community. Shout out Sounds of the South in Cape Town, South Africa. My man, Killer Richie, Masai, Emma Masai, between Dar es Salaam, Arusha, and Zanzibar. Shout out to Molly Karma over there in France, in the Basque region, and Halle, Germany. Shout out to Hip Hop Union in Moscow. Home, y'all. Planet Earth. Let's get back.
Home, 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 home.
One love. I'm Mike Crenshaw. Thank you for being here. Peace.